We are going to have a group discussion about the Rye Junior High garden. Okay, so Luke?
So our vegetables that we're growing are definitely key in our lifestyle here at Rye Junior High. So I think we need to maybe even make our garden bigger so we can have more fresh vegetables here at our school to eat for lunch.
Don't they use the vegetables sometimes in food around the school?
Yep. Every lunch they use the food, vegetables in the salad bar.
Usually during the time that we grow the food, we take some vegetables from the garden and we make stuff with them and life skills.
Like what Hope said.
It's pretty much an all-school affair, so we all kind of help out, and then, at lunch we get some really nice fresh fruits and vegetables. So
Yeah, and I noticed earlier that somebody asked, how do you get your vegetables? I mean, everybody really cooperates to get them, to grow them, and to water them every day to make sure they're in good shape. Like, in 6th grade, we went out to the garden a few times to help out us students. 7th grade, we will, and in fact, some kids are going out today. Right now. And same with 8th graders. All the grades really help. And so the teachers also help too. They're a huge part. And some teachers are really committed to making sure we get those fresh fruits and vegetables.
yeah, our librarian, Miss Coombs, she's taken upon the duty today to just be out there, and whoever wants to go out to help garden can just go out whenever they want. So
this idea is really great. I think that all schools should take it and use it if they can. It's really not that hard to grow these nice fruits and vegetables and to water them every day to make sure they're in good shape, right, guys?
Yeah. We also have a community farm called Goss Farm.
Yeah.
It's just around the corner.
We go there for field trips every year.
And we help clean it up, and it's actually really, really fun. And they have bees there, too, because bees are dying.
And some people might think that cleaning up and growing nice fruits and vegetables is a lot of work, and you just shouldn't even try, and it's boring. But just grab a friend, go down there, grab a shovel, and start making those vegetables.
In 6th grade, I think we planted some
Tomatoes or potatoes.
Any vegetables.
We planted a lot of vegetables, and this year we dug up some of the old plants like the potatoes and everything.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, it's not actually that hard to find time in our day to go to the garden.
Right.
Because, let's say we have 2 classes in the morning, 2 classes in the end. We can go during recess, or RTI, or a teacher can bring us up during a class.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. So
And today I think that the teachers are working on it all day. And
At the beginning of the year, though, remember we did that art project called Hiding in the Garden, and we really got to see all the vegetables in the garden.
Can you describe that?
Oh, so the Hiding in the Garden art project, what we did is we photoshopped a picture of ourselves into the garden so we looked really small. And some people did themselves climbing on flowers, or some people did themselves riding tomatoes.
stand on a flower.
Yeah, and some people did some of the decorations in the garden, such as the bicycle. They
I was
put
on the bicycle.
themselves on the bicycle. So was I.
And last year we did a blueprint of the garden in math.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that took a
Yeah. In the beginning of the year, our 7th grade year, Miss Adams, we were learning about the types of parts of a flower, and so we really learned some cool things about it. So we're going one step closer to nature every day. So
Kylie, what do you want to say on the topic?
I just agree with Miguel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we all do. So, with growing vegetables, it's really not that hard, as I said. And if you don't know how, there's a funny thing we use every day called the internet. Is you look up and you find so many different tutorials telling you how to plant stuff, and then you go to your store, you can buy the seeds you need and the fertilizer and all the other stuff.
And it's actually a lot easier than you think. You just literally get your hands and dig a huge pit, toss a seed in, and just put it on, and just dump dirt on it, and pour some water.
It's really a
Also,
lot more complicated than that.
last year we put benches and we made a part of like an outdoor classroom
Yeah.
in the garden, and we
We put little wood chips below them, and then another, like sort of a carpet sort of thing below that, so that we wouldn't damage any of the plants. If you're gonna plant a garden, then make sure that you keep care for it. Water it every day. It doesn't take long. You may see those people with their flowers and their water jug and pour a little there. It's really the same thing. And then once you're done, all your work will pay off because you get a nice scrumptious meal.
As you
Okay.
can see behind us are some pictures from the Goss Farm trip. And anyone can go to Goss Farm and plant something. So
You can volunteer. to
anyone in
help
the
out.
community, and I think Portsmouth, I'm not sure though, I think Portsmouth uses some of the food there in their lunches.
Yeah, so as you can see, there are a lot of potatoes, so we're doing that. Definitely a lot of fun.
Also, in the outdoor classroom, as you guys were talking about before, I know Miss Curran and Miss Coombs' homeroom went out in advisory, and the outdoor classroom that they were just making, they were just starting to make it, and we put flowers like all over the top of it,
Oh, yeah.
and then we like cleaned up the rest of it, and then there was a ceremony to donate it to our
dedicated
dedicated it
to
to our old superintendent, Mr.
Dr.
Dr.
And they had cupcakes.
And another fun fact, if you want to lose weight, go in the garden, find your community garden, and just put the work in, you'll start losing those pounds, and you'll also get the nice healthy fruits to maintain. So it's
A
really
good
good
belly, nice
combo.
flat belly.
So,
Your face is
and it helps your community overall. Think about not just yourself, don't be selfish, but think about the people around you too.
So basically, back to the Goss Farm thing, they have bees there.
That's what you're trying to say.
And so the bees at Goss Farm, the reason that it's a good, bees are dying all around the community and all around the world. And basically, if all the bees on the earth were to disappear, I think that someone would have died, that the whole human population would die within a certain amount of years. I think it was really short.
Definitely, because
Without bees, we wouldn't have any fruits or vegetables, and then the animals that we wouldn't be able to eat the fruits or vegetables, and then it just die, and then we die.
it's all the food chain.
Sorry.
It goes up and down on the food chain. So bees, they're like small little creatures, and they can really make a difference in this world. So should raise that population, keep them safe.
And also the bees, they every time we go there, the bee guy, we should call him, he has bees in crates with honey things. I don't know what they're called, but he keeps bees in them for the winter. And if he finds bees anywhere, he will keep them, and usually he leaves them at Goss Farm.
So guys, I know we talked about trash in your back earlier. Speaking of that, we're all gonna do trash in your back, right? We're all planning to.
Maybe.
It just depends
Can't be
on.
certain.
We could do it, but yeah.
Maybe I think we could do it just at school.
Yeah, that could be something.
That could be something.
Well, put all your worries aside because in the end, it helps the earth and that helps you.
Okay, so
why do you suppose there's a purpose of that, of trash in your bag?
So that you wouldn't use as much waste because
It's so that you become aware of what you're buying and
Like if you want, if you have a bag and you're gonna pour food in it, then like you want that hanging off your back.
if you have trash on your back, be like, I don't want to have trash on my back. So you try and use as least things as you can. So if you, let's say you used a water bottle, you would, instead of using another water bottle, you would just keep drinking out of it. So you wouldn't have to put it on your back.
So
Right.
I have a question for trash on your back. So if say you eat orange, right? And so you have the orange rind left over. Would you put that in your trash bag, or would you just throw that out in the woods and leave it to compost,
You could,
If you had a
have
compost.
compost, you could put it in compost.
or just throw it out?
The
into
idea
woods?
that she had was that you put it all in your bag.
And in the
And at
end,
the end of the week, then you go back and you see how much is compostable, how much is recyclable.
and how much is actually.
this all could actually help you to eat healthier because oranges, as Miguel said, are decompostable. So
It can be composted.
yeah, it can be composted. So also another thing, I think what our teacher was trying to say was you want to put yourself in the shoes of the earth. Say you were the earth and you had these millions of pounds on your back. I think you'd be dead. But the point is, you
More
don't
than
want to
that.
be carrying around that. Say a recommendation for a backpack is like 5 pounds, right? So, I mean, I've had those days where I've carried around 30 pounds. So, 1,000,000 pounds, I don't know, that's a lot. 30 pounds is a lot, so.
Right.
I want to get back to like the topic of Earth Day and like what we do. But I was saying, every single year I have a like at Lake Winnipesaukee, we have like an island cleanup, and every year people go and just clean up the island. Does anybody have any?
Well, maybe
Like
It's like a beach
I
cleanup.
haven't-
like a beach cleanup.
I haven't really.
in my preschool class, I know they still do this, but I think they still do this. On every year on Earth Day, they would all go out to the neighborhood around them, and then they would pick up any trash that they saw, and then they would also go to Odeon and pick up any
Odeon.
trash on the beach. What?
Odeon.
Odeon.
And also,
Odeon State Park.
and also what Ollie's trying
So
to say.
Odeon State Park, and they would go there and they would pick up all the trash on that beach and near the park. And
So, all the trash that you dump, as we talked about for the California drought earlier, 30% of water is wasted in that ocean. But we didn't think about all the trash that is just thrown in that ocean because we either just don't have room for it or we just don't even care. Or people just leave it on the ground and just eventually gets to the ocean. Say, you need a plastic bag on the road. It's a nice windy day. Plastic bag swimming around till it hits the water, then the current drags it out to sea.
And it can become into an ocean gyre too.
Do you like think about it? If you have a cat or a dog, you love your cat or dog, right? If you had a seal, it would get the same thing. Because that little seal is out in the ocean and the plastic bags come in. You don't want that seal to get hurt. So you don't want to throw these plastic bags away and just trash in general. Because these animals are actually getting severely hurt and even killed.
Okay, so going back to Holly's idea about the trash cleanup. So maybe like just for 1 hour, everything in the world just like kind of everyone in the world just goes around picking up trash.
Mhm.
You know, is finding a way to
Help out.
recycle it, throw it in trash, throw it in a landfill, compost it, some things like that. And I have a couple other things, but maybe we could make every town recycle every type of plastic, because I used to live in a town. It's called Wellesley, Massachusetts, and they recycle every type of plastic, and it was a really clean town for a suburb town.
I know
So,
what our town does. We separate bottles, like colors of bottles,
Yeah.
and we separate like just plastic. We recycle,
And
but
if
separate everything.
and like if cardboard has any labeling, it goes in a different
Right.
pile.
Back,
than
Paper.
just normal.
back to like plastic that goes into the ocean, the plastic bags. I remember reading somewhere, this might have just been an idea, I don't remember. I think they're putting some sort of material in it that gets attracted to magnets. So if you took a magnet over the thing, it would
Trash.
pick up the trash. I don't know if that actually happened, but I remember reading about it. It did happen. Okay, it did happen.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, I
so-
think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you.
Alright, and we have some people coming back for lunch. So we'll leave the slideshow up. And anybody that wants to come back for lunch can do that. I don't know if I can right now because I'm not Yeah. You can come back from recess if you want to. Yep, everybody's welcome all day. I'm going to lunch because it's an art day. And very good, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna experiment a little bit and see if we can get you to hear a song that I want to play by one of our students from a few years ago, many years ago actually, and I'll try it right now.
Hi, my name's Liz. I'm a student from Ryan Junior High, and I wrote a song about Earth Day called Here and Today. It's actually about global warming and how we really don't have a lot of time to just sit around and talk about fixing global warming. We really need to just do it because there's so many people in this world that can fix it, and waiting around isn't really going to happen. So here it is, Here and Today. Take it all and throw it all away. 'Cause that's just what we wanna do today. Hold them back, there's no need to be strong enough. 'Cause here and today, that's just not enough. Way, but it never seems to matter. The pain, it never seems to go away, and all we leave behind, and all we share, is one thing we cannot erase. Look at all these people. Look at all this life. Look at all these people. Look at all this life. Here in today. It's all we have. It's all we'll ever. Here in today. So take back everything you wish you could. There's not enough time and not enough people. If we could all realize, if we could all realize. Look at all these people. Look at all this life. Look at all these people. Look at all this life. Here in today, it's all we have. It's all we'll ever. Here in today. Here in today. It's all we have, it's all we'll ever have. Here in today. Look at all these people. Look at all this life here in today.
Okay, that was a former student, Liz, who did that song, created that song. I'm going to switch mics. Let's see if this works still. And looks like some of the students are still on lunch line. Excuse me. So while we're waiting, let's see if I can find, excuse me. Hang on a minute. We'll be right back. Actually, I'm going to see if I can play some music for you that the students have made. Little pieces. We'll try this.
Hi, my name's Liz. I'm a student from Ryan Junior High, and I wrote a song about Earth Day called Here.
There we go. Okay, for some reason that's not really coming out too loud. So we'll try plan B. Let's see if we can do that. Earlier this year, we did a webcast with excuse me, we did a webcast with Colonel Joe Kittinger, and we spoke to him about his jump that he did from about 19 miles up from a helium balloon. And we had a little bit of trouble trying to get audio, but we'll see what we can do and if we can share that here with you. So I'm going to share my screen. And hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Okay, we're ready to go. Go ahead. Go.
You are listening to an Earthcast echo for January 29, 2015. We are broadcasting live on Earth Bridges channel of World Bridges Network. Earthcast echoes are extensions of an Earth Day webcast called Earthcast. Today we are broadcasting live from Rye Junior High School in Rye, New Hampshire, New York. If you're listening live, there's a chat in the room to ask questions and share your ideas. You will have to log in using one of the tools or as a guest. And those students will be in the chat, so please be respectful and kind enough. Today we are pleased to be able to speak to Colonel Joseph Kilger and his wife. Colonel Kilger is well known for his aviation and space expertise, and he is the first to jump from the stratosphere back in the 1960s. Welcome, Colonel Kilger. We have several questions. We have divided them up among our 4 classes. We will pause from time to time to change places. First up is our blue class.
Hello, I'm Luke. This is Brian. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. When you were little, when you were little, be honest with me. Were you a good kid or were you a troublemaker?
I was a good kid. My mother, when I started kindergarten, told me that I needed to be a pet to the teacher, and that caused any problems. And if I had it, it's going to give me the problem that she would know about it, and I would suffer the consequences. So I would say I was a good kid.
That's what I was hoping. What what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were like little?
Well, I tell you what, I was enamored at a very early age with flying. I made model airplanes. I read everything I could about aviation, and I just set a goal at my earliest age to be a pilot. And I never gave up that goal, and I worked constantly for that. And there's a lesson I think for all you kids. That is, to succeed in life, you need to set goals and work for them, because that's how you accomplish tasks. Is to set the goals and work hard for them, and don't get distracted.
That's really nice. Okay, now Ryan's gonna read some questions.
Who was your role model when you were young?
I guess probably Lindbergh. Berg was mine. He was very prominent in aviation. I guess Lindbergh was the person that was my role model.
All right. What do you think your parents would have said if they saw you jumping?
Well, first of all, my mother and father had confidence in me. They never was concerned about my safety because they always felt that I could take care of myself. And from my earliest age, I was given the opportunities to demonstrate that I could take care of myself. I became active in the Boy Scouts, and that really helped me an awful lot in the Boy Scouts, because it teaches you the outdoors and how to take care of yourself. And so, to make the point is that I had the confidence of my parents, and they never were really worried about me.
All right. What age did you begin to show interest in height, altitudes, and outer space?
That's a very good question. 45, 50,000 feet. And I became interested in space back in 1950, early 1950s. So no one ever thought we were going to go into space. But I just had a feeling that this great adventure to go into space. And I started working back in the early 50s with the Earthcast lab where I was stationed on doing weightlessness experiments and other research experiments that would lead us to the space age. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. We're gonna have some questions from the chat being answered. If Seamus could come out, do you have any questions? He does not have any questions at the time.
Oh, that was a good question.
Okay, are we switching? Okay, we're switching to the yellow group. Excuse me, we're switching to the yellow group. Okay.
We would like to ask you some questions about the jump itself that you made. We would like to ask you some questions about the jump that you made from high in the stratosphere. Can you describe the mission a bit for us?
Well, it was let me tell you the reason for it. It was a research program that the United States Air Force initiated in preparation for space. We've never been in a space environment except in chambers. We've never had a man actually try to do work in a space environment. That was one objective. The second objective was that we needed an escape system from very, very high altitude. So those are the two things that we were working on the project. I was the project director, And I working with me. It's very important that you have people that you're working with that have confidence in you and have the same goals, the same objectives. It's very, you can't do anything by yourself. And a research program like this, it takes a good team. And I had a great team, and they all had the same objective that I had. And that was to obtain the information that I had described to you. And the only way we could do it was we went with a balloon. There was, those days, the only way to get up there was a balloon. And I made 3 jumps from the balloon. And each one of these jumps was to gather additional information until I made the final jump from 102,800 feet. Did I answer your question?
Yes, it did. We have a question from the chat room. What's your biggest regret about the jumps?
Biggest regret?
Well, do you have any regrets?
No, absolutely not. We accomplished all the time. Yeah. I was still alive, and we accomplished what we set out to do. I had no lessons. As a matter of fact, we were all elated because we had accomplished what we set out to do. We had accomplished our goal in a safe and methodical manner, and we made a contribution. And by the way, the speed system that we developed back in 1960 is still being used today. Every injection seat in the world uses a small drug chute that will be developed back in my project back in 1960. So it's still being used today, and that makes us I'm very proud of that.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Okay. So we have a couple questions from yellow class. Were the jumps done in secret?
Like a secret mission.
No, it wasn't done in secret. We didn't go out of our way to publicize what we were doing. I always believe it's better to show what you've done rather than what you're going to do. So we kept it, it wasn't classified, but we didn't broadcast to the world what we were doing.
How did your friends and family react when they found out you were jumping from the stratosphere, and did that impact your final decision?
Well, I told them I was going to jump, and that I had no inhibitions about it. I had no concern, and that I would call them when I got down. And that's what I did. I got down, I called my family, mother and father, and let them know that everything was exactly what he set off to do.
What was it like to travel at such speeds when falling from the stratosphere?
That's a good question. See, I was falling in a vacuum. There's no air up there. So you have nothing to look at to see how fast you're going. Yeah, you assess how do you determine speed by looking visually so much. Well, there's no optics up there. And I rode 614 miles an hour, and I had no idea going that fast. And when Felix made his jump in 2012, he went 847 miles an hour, and he had no idea he was going that fast because there's nothing there that you can judge it with.
We've just been studying about air pressure and vacuums and things like that. So that was interesting for us to hear.
What was the last thing you said to yourself before you jumped?
well left, I asked God to take care of me during the job. And he did.
Did you constantly think about the details when you jumped, or did you take in the event on a personal level?
That's a good question. I was there as a test pilot. I was there to gather information. I was there to gather as much as we could out of the job. So I was extremely busy as a test pilot, talking into a tape recorder, talking about what was going on with my pressure suit. I was extremely busy, and every thought I had was the thought that that's how I think, that's how I act.
So I'm just going to say, this is a difficult task for these people. They're trying to figure out what questions to ask and what ones you've already answered, and so they're working, trying to figure out which question to go next. So this is all new skills for us.
We have a question from the chat room. What will be the next explorations in outer space? Where is NASA headed in the future?
Does he know?
Let me tell you what the most exciting adventure that our world will have in the next 30 years. And that is sending people to Mars. That's going to be the next great scientific expedition. The whole world will require the whole world to be a part of it. And you all of you are going to be in a position you're going to be able to.
Okay, next question.
Just keep treatments. So we read a bit about the issue you had around your wrists on one of your jumps. Can you describe the situation and in general, what's your suit comfortable?
Well, my way up on my last jump, the pressure suit glove on my right hand did not work. And I knew that it would be in the passion and it would be painful, but I decided to go ahead with the jump because if I would have told the people on the ground that I had that, when they was going to paid me a full. So I didn't tell them. So my hand, the pressure on the side, and I couldn't answer. So everything I did was using my left hand. But I forgot to back down, after a couple of hours, everything was back to normal, and there was no problem. I didn't suffer any ill effects with it. But that was really the only mishap I had during the entire flight, because that pressure glove that broke. And it broke. It tested right on the ground, and somewhere between the ground and 40,000 feet, it broke. And the pressure suit is not comfortable. The pressure suit squeezes your body, pressurizes your body to 40,000 feet. So it's not comfortable, but it's something you have to put up with in order to go in space.
What changes did they make to your suit after the jump?
Did they make any changes?
Did they make any changes?
You can speak that.
The suit that I was using was a pressure suit that the Air Force was using every day. Every pilot in the U-2 were finding it very hard to use that same suit. The suit was not at all, because there's nothing wrong with the suit. The suit protected to be in a space environment. The only thing that was the question of program, but that was a problem that was resolved by a little heavier tube, and so it never happened again. But I would use a standard Air Force special suit, and one of the things we demonstrated to the air crews, and we were giving them very good equipment.
Okay, actually, I'm going to pause this, and we have a couple people up from lunch, so we're going to head on over, and I'm going to unmute their mic and mute this one. All right, now I think we're live. And let me just check the stream. And can we have a test?
Hello.
Okay, it's working fine. So we have a student here, not a seventh grader. And can you tell us who you are and why you're here?
I'm Mark from Portsmouth High School. I'm here shadowing Mr. Pollard, our principal, for Student Government Day. That's basically where students get to shadow city employees and see what their job is like.
And did you go to this school?
Yep.
A couple of years ago? Were you in my classroom?
Yes.
And did you do Earth Day? Did you do a webcast?
Yep, I remember sitting here doing webcast.
Same thing. Do you remember what your topic was?
No.
So anyways, we just had some time before they might have to go off to another class. I don't know, or if you can stay. But
Yeah, 7 minutes.
okay. So do you have, in the high school, did anyone talk about Earth Day or things that they were going to do for Earth Day?
Earth Day is not a huge thing at the high school. There's fun trash cleanup around our track, but besides that, no, there's not really much around it.
And my students don't know, but I think out in our garden, do you know what's happening in our garden today?
Oh yeah,
Doing garden work in there.
are they planting?
Well, were you out there today?
Yep.
So what'd you see?
We're putting in new fence posts that have rotted out. We're turning over the garden beds, just getting everything ready for planting and looking nice.
Okay. And so have you been here? You've been here most of the morning as principal?
Yep.
So what's been the best part and what's been the worst part?
Well, the best part was probably being outside and working in the garden and just hands-on type of stuff. I got to sit with my sister at lunch, which was interesting.
Who is a seventh grader?
Yep. I don't know. There wasn't really any worst part.
Good. Okay, that's good. All right. And
Can you share what else you had to do in the other classes for like Earth Day? You too.
Well, in language arts, we did Earth Day poems, some of which were read earlier, and in I'm not sure if all the homerooms did this, but in my homeroom, we did like Earth Day, like poster sign things.
Right. Which are actually behind you. Right behind you. So in our homeroom did that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I want to know, what do you think about this idea of trash on your back? Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that.
Do you want to describe it to them?
Well, is it where whenever you throw something out, you need to put it in a bag that you carry around all week, and then at the end you sort it out and see what's see what you can compost, recycle, or maybe even reuse, and the stuff that you have to throw away.
Right. So, do you think people are going to do this?
Maybe. Haven't people already done it?
I think it sounds like a good idea. The one problem is if you're throwing out like things that could be like if you're putting things that could be like messy with like other things you're throwing out and it all like mixes together, then you can't really like reuse stuff.
So that's a good point. So maybe we should have sections in the bag or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so it's normally a 5-day challenge, and we are on vacation next week. So I don't know if anyone will do that, but we are thinking of some of the classes tomorrow, giving them bags and then having them keep their trash for 2 days. And at the end of the day on Friday, we can take a look and see what we have in there.
Also, looks like we have some messages from chat.
Oh, good. Okay. So
2 new ones.
Okay, we have
Three
people in the
ones.
chat room saying how exciting to have a former student join us. And it's a good point about mixing the kinds of trash, which might keep them from being recycled, reused. Challenge is a great idea. So we'll see. And the point obviously is to have zero waste, to really think about how much trash we actually, sometimes I don't think people think about it. And at the end of the day, the trash just disappears, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least, do you think little kids think that? Actually, do you know where your trash goes?
It goes, well, it usually goes to like a landfill or some other kind of like place where they either like put it in the ground or like get rid of it in some like way.
Well, you bring your trash to the, what's it called? The transfer station, is that what it's called?
Yes.
And then you sort it out. And so it either goes to a recycling center where it's recycled, and or to a landfill where it's just put in the ground. And also, I don't know, they still incinerate? I don't think they do.
Well, that's the good question. Good question. Yeah. So there, in the transfer station, there's a lot of recycling going on, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of different places, containers to go to, right? But then, why do you suppose they call it transfer?
Because it just transfers it to different places, stations.
Okay. And what about the stuff that can't be recycled or reused?
It just goes to landfill.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's a good question for us to find out. I think we also have a trash to incinerator. I mean, a trash to energy incinerator, mm-hmm. where some of the trash gets burned, and then that creates some electricity too. But we're going to have to look that up.
But I know that incinerators can also be bad because if they burn like certain trash, it can like release bad chemicals and stuff.
Right. So it definitely has to be sorted, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just lost the chat line. All right, so doing your projects, you both had projects to do for Earth Day to present for this. Was there anything that you learned or surprised you or that you wanted to make sure people knew about again? Do you want to share any of that with them?
Well,
I'm putting you on the spot.
the nano silver is pretty important because if it gets into places such as waste systems, it could kill bacteria and such, and germs. I think I might have to leave.
Okay, all right. But you're right about the silver. I had questions about that too. Is there anything that you?
Wait, is it the end of recess yet? Do you know?
Yes.
In about 2 minutes.
Okay,
It's,
then I can just wait for 2 more
12:35.
minutes.
Thank you.
Well, my topic was carbon footprint with like pretty much everything. Like a lot of things create carbon footprint, like pretty much like the making of like any kind of stuff or any kind of like almost any kind of like traveling.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, isn't it? Almost
Yeah.
everything we do somehow goes back to that. So how can we reduce our carbon footprint?
Well, there are a lot of ways that I said earlier, but you can try to have like energy efficient like electronics and cars and stuff, and you can also turn off lights and like electronics if you're not like using them right then, 'cause it saves energy. And try to like condense how many trips you have to take.
Good point.
So you can combine like a lot of small trips into one big trip.
And that's how shopping malls started. Because putting all the stores together in one place, you can drive one place and shop around. So that's true.
I think I have to go.
All right. So
Hi, Marco.
we are live right now. So
I'll go then.
all right. So what we'll do is, can you close the door? We're live. Can you close the door? And it looks like a couple people might be coming in. So we're in transition right now. And actually, I'm going to stop the stream for this part of it, and we'll pick up the next hour in the screen down below. Okay? So we'll be right back.